Well, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today is Tuesday, December 8th, and our Disney story tonight comes to you from the Disney classic Tangled, and it's called Lighting the Way. Rapunzel had spent her whole life in Mother Gothel's tower. Now free for the day, she was taking in the hustle and bustle of the village. Rapunzel loved the village. Everywhere she looked, there was something exciting happening. A baker was putting out the most delicious-smelling loaves of bread Rapunzel had ever smelled. A florist was selling the pinkest roses Rapunzel had ever seen, and behind her a band was just starting to tune their instruments. Laughing, Rapunzel dragged Flynn from one corner to the next, and suddenly Flynn froze. "Don't look now, but there's guards heading this way." Rapunzel looked around nervously. The last thing she wanted was for Flynn to get caught by the royal guards. If she lost her guide, she'd never see the floating lights. Grabbing Rapunzel's hand, Flynn darted through the crowd and into an alleyway. "I think we lost them. They went the other way." Maximus snorted. He was not used to running from guards, but Rapunzel barely heard them. She was looking in the window of a small, dusty store. "Look, lanterns!" Rapunzel pushed open the door to the little shop and walked inside. Lanterns of every size and shape covered the walls. Rapunzel looked around in awe. They were all so beautiful. Suddenly, a small lantern in the corner caught Rapunzel's eye. She picked it up, a smile forming on her face. "That's a pretty one. I used to have a lantern just like this," Flynn said. Rapunzel said softly, "Well, when I was little, in the tower, I would stay up late at night reading by its light. It reminded me of the lanterns in the sky. It helped me keep alive my dream of seeing the lanterns." That night, surrounded by floating lanterns, Rapunzel thought back to the shop. "Thank you for taking me to the lantern store today," she told Flynn. "It reminded me how important my dream is to me. And now, thanks to you, I'm finally living that dream." "It's been quite an adventure," Flynn said. Rapunzel smiled, "and there's no one else I'd rather share it with." Oh, good old Rapunzel and Flynn. All right, so my friends, let's hear about Ella Fitzgerald. She is a famous jazz singer. And so I've always liked Ella. I've heard of Ella Fitzgerald. So as a young woman in Virginia, Ella longed for independence and dreamed of one day becoming an entertainer. As a teen, she was living on the streets and singing for pennies. In 1934, she got her first big break. She entered the amateur night contest at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. She signed up as a dancer at first, but changed her routine to singing when she saw her competition. They were dressed in sparkling matching dresses while she was in tattered clothes. But she wowed the audience with her unique voice and won the first place prize, literally going from rags to riches. The following year, she landed a role as lead singer with Chick Webb and his orchestra, a popular band that regularly played at one of Harlem's hottest nightclubs, the Savoy Ballroom. At the same time, she was building a solo career. In 1938, she recorded her first album and her first hit single, A Tisket, a Tasket. Her career snowballed from there in the 1950s. She developed her famous instrumental style of singing called scatting. She collaborated with greats from all over the music industry, including Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Count Basie, and Frank Sinatra. In 1958, she made history when she became the first African-American woman to win a Grammy. Over her long and successful career, she recorded more than 200 albums and some 2,000 songs. Ella has gone down in history as one of the most iconic voices of all time. She was fondly known as the First Lady of Jazz and the First Lady of Song. So Ella Fitzgerald is the First Lady of Jazz, if that ever comes up on an episode of Jeopardy. It's good to educate ourselves. So God bless you all and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Stay safe out there.